There's one thing that amazes me. It's when motorcyclists wait in front of the cars for the traffic light to turn green and they just keep talking to each other. I don't believe they know each other. It's just the normal friendliness of Malaysia that people start talking to each other while they're waiting somewhere. Here in Malaysia, it's happening. And next to it, related to it, are the curries. Fish curry, chicken curry, the dal, and any other curry available. And all of it onto the food, into the rice. Flavors exploding in the mouth. Coming from Germany, when I arrived here, I initially thought like, how is that possible? Mixing it all together, not realizing that's the magic.
Assalamualaikum, Elsa di sini. Hai guys, hai semua, halo tetangga. Gimana kabar teman-teman semua? Semoga sehat selalu, semoga bahagia selalu, dan semoga hari teman-teman semua selalu good day. Selamat datang di channel YouTube Elsa Widianti Putri. Oke, hari ini kita akan membahas ada 14 kebiasaan unik yang dimiliki oleh rakyat Malaysia. Uncle ini akan menjelaskan kepada kita semua apa yang dia rasakan ketika dia tinggal di Malaysia dan bekerja di Malaysia, dan pastinya dia udah mengetahui seluk-beluk kebiasaan orang Malaysia guys. Nanti kita lihat sama-sama video seperti apa. Tapi sebelum dimulai video reactionnya, seperti biasa aku mau ajakin teman-teman semua dulu untuk subscribe channel ini dan aktifkan lonceng notifikasinya supaya tidak ketinggalan updatean terbaru dari channel ini. Dan bagi teman-teman yang mau request bisa banget DM di Instagram aku di @elsa_widianti_putri. Yaudah, tanpa berlama-lama, tanpa membuang masa, jomlah kita mulai video reactionnya. Are you ready? Let's go.
Malaysia is special. And it's the people who makes this country so special, and the habits. And in this video I'm going to show you 8, 9, 10, 15 different habits that surprised me when I came here to Malaysia initially, until I fall in love with them. So let's get started right away with my all-time favorite, traffic. When I came to Malaysia from Germany, I was so used to the fact that cars would stop if they would see me waiting at a road, especially waiting at a zebra crossing. No such thing in Malaysia. Crossing a street here in Malaysia can feel like a car is chasing you down. I felt like being chased down. I was in the middle of the road sometimes and I felt like the car is even accelerating just seeing me crossing the street. And I ran for my life. There's one thing that I needed to learn from the Malaysian, and you as a Malaysian most likely know what I'm talking about. It is the magic hand. The hand stretching out at the road, stretching out.
Jadi ketika mau menyeberang, keluarkan tangan magic kamu. Jadi ketika kita memberikan simbol ini kepada mobil yang laju, kita ingin menyeberang nih, pasti otomatis mobil itu akan berhenti gitu guys. Jadi gunakan hand magic ini.
While waiting at a zebra crossing, kind of commanding the cars to stop. Will they stop? Well, not always. Is it more likely they stop? Well, it is. It is definitely safer for my life. So if you want to cross the street, if you want to cross a zebra crossing, make it a habit to stretch out your hand and hope a car will stop for you. Number 2, I was amazed by the number of motorcycles crisscrossing the streets here in Malaysia. I rode a motorcycle in Germany, a big one. Initially in Malaysia I also rode a motorcycle, but I gave it up very quickly. I felt too dangerous. And it still is, and the number of motorcycles have increased of course, but there's one thing that amazes me. It's when motorcyclists wait in front of the cars for the traffic light to turn green and they just keep talking to each other. I don't believe they know each other. It's just the normal friendliness of Malaysia that people start talking to each other while they're waiting somewhere. It's just wonderful, but it's very unique, I believe. Number 3, now something I'm asking you to help me. Why do motorcyclists wear a jacket in front? It still astonishes me. I have no idea why this is the case. Is it to protect them from the sunshine? Is it because the dust is there? Is it easier to take off and take on again? I don't know. I still don't know. I can't remember as well if I ever asked any of my friends. So I'm asking you here right now. Comment below if you have any idea, if you can help me out here in understanding why do motorcyclists wear the motorcycle jacket from the front. Number 4, it's about carrying the whole family on a motorcycle.
Sebenarnya aku juga tidak menemukan jawaban yang pasti kenapa Aku juga termasuk kayak gitu guys, termasuk orang yang pakai jaket tuh terbalik gitu. Tak apa faedahnya gitu loh, kayak ya enak aja pakai jaket terbalik gitu kan. Bagian belakang menjadi depan, depan menjadi belakang gitu. Sebenarnya nggak ada faedahnya juga sih sebenarnya. Cuman kayak nyaman aja pakai kayak gitu loh. Tapi teman-teman ada jawaban pasti kenapa banyak orang yang naik sepeda motor itu pakai jaketnya kebalik gitu? Boleh komen di bawah.
It's not that often the case here in Kuala Lumpur, but when I see it, I'm scared. It's a father and the mother and 1 or 2 children sitting on a motorcycle, holding dearly to each other.
I don't know what you mean by it. I'm scared it's a father and a mother and one sitting on a motorcycle holding brother. How about a web search for it?
Here is Siri even asking me about this point that I just made, and it is so incredible funny. When I see the family, it gives me the gully feeling inside me. Please, if you are one of those who are riding the motorcycle with more than 2 people, take care while you ride. Next point is cars zigzagging all the time on the roads. Coming from Germany, most of the time, cars are lining up when there is a traffic jam. It's kind of procedural. You don't jump across to the other lane. In Malaysia, the moment there is a lane going slower than the others, instantly you see indicators coming up. The cars want to move out from their lane onto the next lane that seem to move faster. It's psychological, of course. It's the feeling like, hey, they move faster, I gotta be there. It's like the grass is greener on the other side. My wife told me I adopted quite well to this one as well, that I can zigzag, and I think I do. The next point I want to point out, and it's lesser nowadays than it was at the time when I came. No walking in Malaysia. Gosh, it was so strange. But what happened is that my friends drove their car if the next destination was just about 200, 300, 400 meters away. And I thought like, why don't we walk to that place?
Boleh
And
komen
they
di
looked
bawah
at me,
kenapa
"Ayo,
orang Malaysia
Jala, we have to walk back
tidak mau
anyway
jalan
to the
kaki?
car, so why not going the 200 meters? There's a parking spot
Padahal
just
jarak
over
cuma
there. All of
200
us
meter.
jumped back into the car and just drove for 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters. Got out of the car and ended the next place where we wanted to go to. It's less happening today because of the lack of parking in Malaysia, but it's just a memory I have that surprised me. Let's move on to the food. My favorite food is Malaysian food. Malaysian food is the best. But coming from Germany, when I came here, I was in for a couple of surprises. One thing is that I thought like Malaysians eat all the time and it's rice, rice, rice. Morning, lunch, evening, and maybe even
Pokoknya
supper.
ya,
I work
mau pagi, mau subuh, mau siang, mau malam gitu kan, nasi gitu loh. Mungkin itu juga menjadi salah satu kebiasaan orang Malaysia sih, kebiasaan unik orang Malaysia, kenapa mereka udah makan nasi gitu, nasi lemak, nasi kandar, nasi dagang gitu kan, nasi yang lainnya gitu. Kayaknya itu menjadi salah satu kebiasaan orang Malaysia yang agak susah digantikan.
EPU in the Prime Minister's department, and we had lunch in the canteen of Dinegara, and I saw the same Malaysians eating all the time, and I thought like, wow, it's amazing. How can you all stay so slim? It's fantastic. I thought coming here, I wanted to eat rice as well, cooking it by myself initially. So I went to the supermarket and looking for that one package of rice for one person to cook. It didn't exist, of course, and I was looking up and down the aisles, couldn't find it at all, until I realized that the smallest package available in Malaysia is at least 10, 15 or 20 kilos. Not a single person.
Kalau di
package.
negara-negara luar kan mungkin ada tuh yang untuk sekali makan gitu kan. Nah kalau di Malaysia mungkin ada, cuman nggak semua tempat tuh menyediakan yang kayak gitu, yang untuk sekali makan gitu guys. Tahu kan yang sering ada di Korea gitu, dalam satu tempat gitu. Jadi kita tinggal di microwave aja gitu nasinya. Nah kalau di Malaysia mungkin ada, cuman angka ini mungkin nggak ketemu sama bentuk yang kayak gitu. Jadi adanya kayak 10 kilo, 15 kilo gitu, 20 kilo gitu loh. Mungkin itu menjadi salah satu culture shock uncle ini juga gitu.
Surprise as well, because I looked at that big bag and I thought like, this kind of bag will take me 20 years to complete. That was before I also started to eat rice all day long. The next point related to food is everything campur, mixed
Campur.
up together onto
Iya.
one plate. It's
Pokoknya
happening
satu piring
more when
tuh
I go to the mamak
berbagai
stores.
macam
And even
gitu.
I take sometimes the beef or the chicken or the fish onto one plate. It doesn't happen like this in Germany. You have beef today and chicken tomorrow and fish the third day. But you don't put it all together onto one plate. Here in Malaysia, it's happening. And next to it, related to it, are the curries. Fish curry, chicken curry, the dal, and any other curry available. And
Semua
all
curry
of
itu.
it onto the food, into the rice. Flavors exploding in the mouth. Coming from Germany, when I arrived here, I initially thought like, how is that possible? Mixing it all together, not realizing that's the magic. Next point, related to food still, is the cold food. In Germany, food is warm, and I expected it to be warm. But if I go to the mamak stall, it was a shock. The vegetables or the meat, cold. That was something I had to
karena
get
juga
used to. But after that
ini
many
kan
years,
restoran tuh pasti menyediakan makanan harus dengan cepat gitu kan. Mungkin masaknya juga udah subuh-subuh banget. Jadi makanan yang disediain kayak di nasi lemak, nasi-nasi yang lainnya itu lauknya udah dingin gitu guys. Karena aku juga pernah sih mereaction salah satu restoran yang ada di mana ya? Terengganu atau Kelantan gitu yang ini guys, teman-teman bisa nonton aja ini. Nah mereka itu mulai start masak itu dari jam 3 subuh atau 4 subuh gitu. Jadi mengejar waktu, makanya makanan atau lauk-lauk yang disediakan memang udah dingin gitu guys.
years being here in Malaysia, it became normal for me. I don't care. But it was strange initially. Moving on from the food, living in the condominium, washing dishes in Malaysia. That has only cold water at the sink in the pantry of Malaysian households.
Oke,
You're
hanya ada
putting
satu
the
air
soap
dingin.
onto a little sponge and you're washing the dishes under running and cold water. Somehow
kayak
it
gitu lah,
feels
cuci piring
strange.
kan.
I wasn't used to that coming from Germany because in
mungkin di Jerman
Germany
nggak ada
at
kayak
least
gitu
you
ya.
got hot water running at the sink in the kitchen. So it still feels a bit strange to me that I have to wash the dishes under running water.
Apalagi
'Cause I am
subuh-subuh kan
still not
cuci
sure
piring,
if
wah,
that's not
sejuk
a
nih, Allah.
huge waste of water overall. What do you think watching that video here? Also, of course, that dishwashers are not so common here in Malaysia, while they are more common nowadays in Germany.
Karena lebih berasa vibes-nya kalau cuci piring itu pakai tangan gitu guys. Ada sih mesin cuci piring kan, cuman nggak semua orang kan mau belinya dan nggak semua orang juga memerlukan itu gitu. Mungkin bagi orang-orang tertentu saja yang mau membeli mesin cuci piring otomatis ini, tapi kebanyakan orang di Asia Tenggara mungkin ya lebih prepare untuk nyuci piring pakai tangan langsung gitu. Kalau di Jerman mungkin pakai mesin cuci piring ini guys. Makanya uncle-nya agak sedikit terkejut, culture shock gitu kan. Harus mencuci piring pakai tangan dan tidak ada tersedia air panas. Nah kalau di Jerman tuh ada air panas sama air dingin gitu.
In public places where, and some still are, not known for their cleanliness, it's highly likely that the floor is wet, water from the usage of the bidet. As a tourist, you're most likely not used to seeing water on the floor, seeing water on the toilet seat, cause the person before you use the bidet. It is something I
mereka
had to
kayaknya pakai
get
ini
used
nggak
to
sih,
when I
tisu. Kalau
came
kita kan
to
pakai
Malaysia.
air ya,
Of course,
biar
I
bersih
wish
gitu.
the toilets were dry. What can you do? It's something to clench your teeth and just get over it and have a smile and just use the toilet to the best way possible. But also what is interesting to see in the toilets in Malaysia are the air blowers. Not sure if the female toilets got air blowers as well, but the male toilets for sure, many of them have air blowers, blowing the air out of the toilets. Why that's the case? Well, because it's smelly, but it's something that you might not necessarily see in other parts of the world. Quite an interesting adventure to visit a toilet in Malaysia. All the things I've mentioned here right now are adorable. I love them. And I believe there could be more that I could share. But I love Malaysia for its uniqueness. And I still learn about different approaches to culture here in Malaysia, even after so many years. It's a never-ending journey, and it's delightful. So traffic, food, interacting with different people. I personally learned to appreciate the Malaysian culture, the Malaysian uniqueness, making Malaysia
ini
a place
bagusnya
that I
orang
can
asing
call
nih
my
guys.
own. And if you want
Menghargai
to learn
budaya
more
gitu.
about my journey in Malaysia, why don't you watch the video up here after you completed watching this video?
Oke, nah itulah 14 kebiasaan unik yang dimiliki oleh rakyat Malaysia atau negara Malaysia gitu. Misalnya seperti menggunakan magic hand ketika kita ingin menyeberang, otomatis mobil itu akan berhenti. Terus ketika memakai jaket terbalik, itu membuat uncle ini juga berpikir kenapa pakai jaket terbalik gitu kan. Jujur aku juga masih belum menemukan jawaban yang kuat gitu, kenapa kebanyakan orang yang pakai motor itu menggunakan jaketnya terbalik. Jujur aku juga memakai jaket terbalik, cuman aku gak tahu alasan aku kenapa pakai jaket terbalik. Kalau aku pribadi biar nggak ribet aja sih, tapi nggak tahu sih kalau teman-teman punya jawaban lain boleh komen di bawah. Orang Malaysia ini seperti yang uncle ini katakan, meskipun jarak tempat tujuan itu hanya berjarak 200 meter, tapi mereka tetap menggunakan mobilnya untuk ke sana gitu. Padahal 200 meter nggak jauh kalau jalan kaki gitu kan. Ya mungkin itu menjadi salah satu kebiasaan orang Malaysia yang pengen cepet gitu. Kalau jalan kaki kan lama gitu. Kalau naik mobil kan set gitu kan langsung nyampe. Karena dia dari Jerman kan pindah ke Malaysia, pasti budaya adat istiadatnya pasti jauh berbeda dan dia harus menyesuaikan diri dia juga dengan budaya kebiasaan orang Malaysia. Tetapi di samping itu semua dia sangat-sangat mencintai Malaysia, sangat-sangat menyukai Malaysia. Seperti yang dia bilang, dia banyak belajar tentang Malaysia, tentang kebudayaan, tentang rakyatnya, adat istiadat, peraturan dan sebagainya. Dia menikmati itu dan sampai sekarang dia masih tinggal di Malaysia guys. Cukup sekian video reaction kali ini. Bagi teman-teman yang suka sama video ini, jangan lupa untuk like, komen, dan subscribe. Dan kita ketemu di next video. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.